But anyways, I mean, we're gonna talk about Europe. Europe is a great vacation spot. See, Daniel, he's officially in Europe, but he's not in Europe, and he has summer in the winter. So if you don't do business in Europe, you should come for vacation at least. So, but let me tell you why you should consider that for the e-commerce part as well. So, here is like a short presentation about Europe, some numbers because no, I mean the only thing that matters at the end is numbers. Now we're talking about VAT, sales tax, whatever. So here is some information about Europe and why you should consider expanding here. So some of you might not know, but no, Europe has a 750 million population. 450 of those are actually over 18. So all these guys are potential new clients for you guys. I mean, if you decide to expand in Europe. So that's the USA plus 100 millions more. So that's a lot. Amazon is obviously the biggest marketplace. So here is some data about Amazon. Amazon Europe has over 300 million unique views, which is 50% more than the USA. The other good news, Amazon Europe has a little over 1.1 million sellers versus 2.5 in the USA, which means more traffic, less sellers, less competition. Another thing, if you're selling in your home country, it might be in Europe, it might be in Asia, it might be in the USA, North America, it doesn't matter, you just sell in one market. So by expanding to Europe, you can sell to 50 new countries and multiple languages. Of course, the language is not like an advantage, but it's a whole new continent with multiple markets which are separated. And of course, if you guys are not doing that, I mean, if your competitors are not doing that and you do it first, you're gonna obviously grow more than them, you're gonna take them over. So, and the last part, which is of course important, if you start selling in Europe, you would need to have a second storage in Europe to hold your stock, so you will be ordering more from your suppliers, which means you can reduce the cost from your manufacturer. So these are some very good reasons, but just to summarize now, 450 millions, less sellers. So it might be hard when you start, but it would pay off in the long term. So I, I went a little ahead of myself. I forgot to introduce myself. I have the feeling that everybody knows me, but that's not true. So I'm Nick Penef. I'm the co-founder of Extreme Power Brands, which is a partnership agency and network. We have over 1,000 partners. So you're listening to 4 of them today, and that's why we do these events, to educate people for all the pieces of the puzzle that we need. And also, I'm running the partnership for HelloTax, which is the host, the sponsor, and the organizer of this event. And the story about HelloTax is very interesting. The co-founders of HelloTax are also ex-Amazon sellers. They're called Christian, he's from Spain, and Christo from Austria. They were selling on Amazon in 2015-16. They were chatting in a Facebook group about their issues with VAT compliance, and one of them suggests, okay, let's do a company which would solve this problem for Amazon sellers. And this is how the company was started more than 6 years ago. And just to fast forward to today, we have over 2,000 paid clients. Most of them are Amazon sellers and Shopify and other e-commerce sellers. We have employees, over 70 employees across the globe. The company is fully remote. And we have 15,000 Amazon and other e-commerce sellers as subscribers. And me personally, I used to be a client of HelloTax before I was offered to take over the partnership, which is a very good thing because I love partnerships, I love connecting with people, and I love doing these events. But just to come back to the future, and why, and when expand to Europe, of course, I mean, if it's that easy, why people are not doing that? So here is the answer. There are some blockers. So what are the blockers which are stopping people to expand in Europe? So the first and the most important part is having the right product. So this guy on the horse, he's sexy. So the image is not good, but anyways, that's what we have in the presentation. So having the right product. We have a lot of partners who can help you out to do product research. If you don't have a product, you can still do product research, but without product, you have nothing to sell. If you have nothing to sell, you don't need Link My Books, you don't need Ampersand, you don't need e-commerce accountants, you don't need Duo, you don't need HelloTax. So this is the first and the most important part. But once you have that, there is tools that can help you to the product research. And if you do that, you'll be very surprised that in some markets in Europe, you have no competition. And that's true because a lot of companies say, okay, it's hard. Yeah, it's hard, but Once you establish yourself, it's a long-term revenue stream. This is a quote from a partner of mine who runs one of the biggest agencies in Europe. So remember that. So having the product is the first thing. The second part about expansion to Europe is the value-added tax, VAT, product compliance, fiscal representation, customs, and logistics. So this might be sound to you like a lot of problems, but the good thing is that all these companies, they're partners of mine. I can recommend you multiple companies who can help out with that. We've done that for hundreds of sellers, and we know which are the reliable ones. So we have all the solutions. But the first thing that you need to do when you expand to Europe is to check if you need to set a product compliance, because sometimes that might take 3 or more months. For some type of products, you don't need product compliance, so you can skip that. So the next thing that you would need is VAT. This is something that we do for HELO tax. Fiscal representation is something that you might need in some markets, and that's why we always advise companies where to start so they can avoid paying the fiscal representation insurance, which is a guarantee which you're gonna pay your VAT. The other thing that you need to know is customs and logistics, because you need to get your products to Europe. So we have partners who can help out with that. They are tailored for e-commerce and they do that all the time. And the last blocker, it's culture and language barrier. This is probably one of the most important parts, because if your translation is not right, people are not gonna buy your stuff. Even for English, US English and British English, they're much different now. So if you have your listing in US English in the UK, you're not gonna do well, and vice versa. So that's why we have partners who do localized translations, and they know how to do your listing, how to do it in a localized way so people can buy your stuff. So just to summarize it, we got you covered. You come to us and you're not gonna hear no. I'm gonna tell you, okay, let me connect you with these guys. They're gonna help out. So once we do the VAT for you, we're gonna connect with partners who can help with the rest. And four of them are here today. So let's fast forward to the next thing. So what problem are we solving? So when expand into Europe, you need to be tax compliant. You need to have VAT. If you don't have VAT, Amazon is not gonna allow you to set up an account. So this is the first thing that you need. So 4 things that you need to know. You need to know what's your VAT liability from the past, from the present, in all the European countries where you're operating. By operating, I mean you're either holding stock or you're selling your product. Of course, if you hold stock in multiple countries, you would need to register for VAT in different countries and file returns in each of those markets. In some markets, when you're moving stock from one country to another country, you need to report the movement of goods in your reports. And the last part, you might be selling on Amazon, you might be selling on Shopify, you might be selling on other marketplaces or platforms. You need to have complete visibility across all your sales channels. If you don't, the tax guys, they don't care. I mean, that's your responsibility. So these are things that you should know. If you use it yourself, you should do it. I mean, you should do it yourself. So that's why, we're doing that for sellers, so they don't need to worry about that. A lot of companies are asking us, okay, but where should we start in Europe? I mean, there's so many countries. Now, if you go to Amazon is gonna tell you, okay, guys, let's do the pan-EU. Let's charge you for 5 or 7 VATs, because we make money from the fees. Don't listen to Amazon. They make money from the fees, so this is not a smart move. Whenever you expand in Europe, you should select ideally one location. Poland, Germany, UK are one of the easiest ones. The only issue with UK is obviously after Brexit is not that easy like before, but there is like a way around that. But just to summarize it, like Poland, Germany, Italy, and like UK are the easiest ones. Germany is the one that we recommend the most, and I'm gonna tell in one of the next slides why we do that. And the one thing that you should avoid, like the plague, is your first location is Spain. It takes probably 4 to 5 months to get the VAT there. They require a lot of documents, notary translation, and all this kind of stuff. So it's really hard. So don't go there unless you're a Spanish speaker and you would like to use the localization there. So that's in regards to the complexity for the VAT process. So the next thing, why do you need VAT? Before July 2021, you need to register for VAT once you hit the threshold in one market. So I'm not going to go into details. You should not worry for that anymore, because the one-stop shop was introduced back then. So whenever you hit a 10,000 euro in sales, you can opt in and register for the OSS, which means you have one VAT, you register for one OSS registration, and you can make sales from the country where you store your goods to all the European Union markets from one location. You pay your VAT in this country, they you pay the tax authority, and the tax authority in this country is remitting between the other tax authorities. But just to summarize, you just need one VAT and one OSS to sell to B2B clients across the whole European Union if you hold stock in just one market. So it's much easier right now. The second reason why you need VAT is if you hold stock in any given country in Europe. So if you hold stock in France, you need VAT there. If you hold stock in Spain, you need VAT there. If you hold stock in Germany, you need VAT there. So if you hold stock in any of these markets, you must have a VAT registration. So this is something about Amazon and what happened. I'm gonna go into details, but if you're selling goods from the UK to the EU Amazon marketplaces, and if the items you're selling are under 150 euros, you don't need to go for customs. I'm gonna share the slide after the event so we can review the details, but this is very important, for certain type of products. Of course, I mean, shipping would be a little more, but this is a way how we can continue selling from the UK to Europe and vice versa, from the EU to the UK after Brexit. This is for Amazon. This is the reopening of the European Fulfillment Network, which was done last year. And you would ask, okay, so you'll be talking so much, my head aches already, but it doesn't matter. No, just to summarize now, what is the solution and why I recommend that? So whenever we expand in Europe, we recommend to either register for one VAT in the UK or Germany. We recommend Germany because of Brexit right now, and for a few other reasons. Germany doesn't require fiscal representation, so one of the blockers is removed. The second thing, German tax authorities are actually allowing companies to apply with their documents in English, so I don't need translation. So, like, advantage too. The next thing, which is very important and a lot of companies don't know, is US sellers, US businesses. If you applied for VAT in Germany, there is a specific tax authority which deals with your VAT application. So it might be funny, I'm not sure if John knows that, but UK companies wait longer than US companies to get the VAT in Germany because there is a different tax authority which deals with UK application and a different one which is dealing with USA ones. So the USA get that quicker because there's less demand. And it's actually few things that can make a change for you guys, and you should take advantage of that. The other part, we have a customs partner who can help you to import your stock, and that's it. Here is some good news. If you're a non-EU company, if you sell on Amazon, you don't need the OSS registration because Amazon is going to use their own OSS registration. So you don't need to do OSS registration, you just need one VAT in Germany. You can make sales and you can make deliveries to all the European marketplaces. All the EU B2B clients from Amazon. Just remember that one VAT if you're a non-EU company selling on Amazon. If you also sell on Shopify or any other platform which is not the so-called DIM support, you must have OSS in order to be able to sell across the whole European Union to B2C clients. And of course, if you're a European-based company, you need to have one VAT and one OSS in your home country, and you'll be able to make sales and deliveries across the union. So the biggest difference is that if you're a non-EU company selling on Amazon, Amazon is going to collect the VAT and pay that to the tax authorities. If you're a EU-based company, Amazon is not going to collect the VAT, so you need to do it yourself. And of course, you need to do VAT monthly filing and plus OSS quarterly filings if you have the OSS. And the good thing is that we have all that. I'm not going to do the demo right now, because I think I just talked too much, but we're going to send that in the follow-up email afterwards. But just to summarize, we're built by Amazon sellers. We have a SaaS solution which allows you to connect your Amazon account, Shopify account. We pull the data, we file the reports, we either publish the return, you pay that, or Amazon collects that, and that's it. You have an account manager which is dedicated to you. Our account managers, they speak English, German, Arabic, French, Italian, Spanish, Turkish, I might Martian, any language. So we got you covered here. And of course, the last but not the least is that we have a partner network of over 450 partners just for HelloTalk. So whatever you need, and not only in Europe, anywhere, I have a partner who can help out. And I'll be more than happy to advise you, because sometimes, like that Amazon is not always giving quite great advice in regards to the VAT. So we're happy to help you out. And of course, we're having giveaways always. We're giving away 6 free VAT registrations with the value of over 1,000 for the first 6 people who try to claim them. We're gonna send an email after the webinar with not only our giveaway, but all the giveaways and offers from everybody. And I'm not sure why I got a black screen, but we're done, guys. Now